So on today's video, I'm going to be talking to Paul from New Forest Morphs about his Exantic project. What's up guys, and welcome back to Predator BP, where once again we're spending some time with Paul from New Forest Morphs, but specifically this time we are talking about the Exantic project. So this is one that's quite close to your heart, you're quite passionate about it, you're quite excited. Tell us what's happening.
So we produced some Ultramel combos, and we were just pleasantly surprised that there were two Exantics in the Ultramel clutch. I thought, where did that come from? And I've got two of the girls I can show you. If you want to have a look at those first, and then I can explain the story behind it.
That'd be great.
They're right next to you down here, so we can pull those out. So we've got those there. So it'll be Shrew and Yorker. Yeah. So Shrew is a Mojave Exantic. We think it's a black Exantic. We're not sure which Exantic it is. But every time she sheds, Richard, she gets darker and darker and darker. And black Exantic is I think it's the same genetic as the TSK Exantic.
See if we can see the head on this beautiful female. Look at that. Look how black and dark that head is. Wow. Look at the alien heads. What the Mojave's doing.
I love the silvers in there as well.
Yeah.
She's getting darker for every shed as well.
It's just
amazing. Normally with Mojaves, you get a little bit of white working down, but the Exantic is stripping that and bringing that black further down, toning it out a little bit. And I just love the way these alien heads, they're supposed to be floating Mojave, but the Exantic is dragging that floating alien head down.
It's trying its hardest to connect.
Yeah.
It's connected here.
Yeah.
It's hooked here.
I think it's really pretty, really beautiful. And she's not that far away from being breedable. She's a couple of years old. She loves her food, lovely temperament, but she's carrying Het Ultramel as well, and she's got the Mojave in her. So absolutely stunning animal.
Wow, this is an animal that anybody would be absolutely proud to be working with and have in their collection.
Now there's 6 different Exantics, and they're not all compatible at all. But the black Exantic is a line of the TSK in a way. They're both 2 separate lines of the same genetic. That's been proven out by the rare genetics. The one below is Yorker.
Yorker?
Yeah. So this one actually has the bamboo. She's in deep shed, so she's going to look even darker than usual. But she is stunning again.
So even in shed, guys, you can see what this snake has within it. It's such a shame that she's in shed because this snake is amazing.
The head on that is absolutely
blushing.
It's like fluorescent. I mean, the Exantic turns the beautiful head stamp of a bamboo into something very special.
So this bamboo Exantic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And anything else at play, het-wise?
Het Ultramel.
Het Ultramel.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to breeding these and proving them out. And again, she's not far off. They're about 1,200 grams each at the moment, so they're doing really well.
Imagine getting the Ultramel version of the 2 that we've just shown here.
But what a bonus, and this is what the hobby can do for you. You're breeding away your Ultramel clowns or your Ultramel pieds, and all of a sudden, bang, an Exantic comes in the clutch, and Jad and I are scratching our head and thinking, we didn't think we had Exantic in there.
Where did that come from? Yeah.
So actually, I think it came from Colossus, because when I bought Colossus, the breeder gave me Colossus, this massive, massive, wild-looking snake that didn't look like there was much going on. She was 100% het for Ultramel, and I think from memory, he said it was 50% het Exantic, and I forgot about that side. So of course, when she popped out her first babies, I thought, oh no, she's not Exantic, there's nothing there. But you need both parents to carry the Exantic. So of course, I bred one of her sons, which is a Bell. He's down here called Casper. He's going into shed. He's carrying the Ultramel, but also he's carrying the Exantic from the mother. And I bred him to one of his family relatives, who was also carrying the Exantic, to hit the visual Exantic.
Wow.
And it's talking about, we talked about genetics being in your hidden in your collection. One of the reasons why people aren't seeing hidden genetics is because they're doing very pure breeding, they're bringing in every generation different bloodlines.
Mm.
And I understand that because the genetics are stronger. But in the hobby, we are allowed, and it's normally okay, to do 1 or 2 generations without going too far, too crazy. And by doing that, you're uncovering genes that are in the family that you can't see otherwise. You see what I'm saying? So there is an argument to say that a little bit of family breeding could be a blessing, providing it's not overdone.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A little
definitely.
bit controversial, they're a bit edgy, but I think there's something in that.
Oh, definitely. It's just
Yeah.
where people do it too much, and you have to bring new blood in, you
Yeah.
know, and you have to be careful with it. Of course, you need to when you create hets, for example, double, triple hets. You're going to then want to put sibling to sibling. You know, that's going to need to be the next step because if you get your male and you get your female, and then after that, it's about bringing in new blood and
Yes.
ensuring that it's not done too much. But where is the future going to go now? This
It's a good question
project.
because we've got to work out which Exantic we've got. We're guessing it's black Exantic. So we can't sell our offspring until we know what we've got. Now, Rare Genetics are doing shed testing, so we can send the sheds off and they can tell us whether they'll do a panel test on Exantic eventually, where you can send in an Exantic and then you can actually get it tested to see which Exantic you've got. Now, because of that, I'm going to do an experiment, which a lot of people don't realize what I'm thinking of doing. They might think I'm crazy, but I'm going to stack all the Exantics on top of each other, see what we get.
That is interesting.
Will it intensify? Will it do any different? Will it make a difference? Now I've got VPI and I've got TSK or Black Exantic, which I think I've got. I could put them together and actually get a wild looking snake that are double het for 2 Exantics, breed them up, and then plug them in again at a later date and see if I can hit 2 Exantics coming together, which is a very powerful animal. It means it can go to any type of Exantic. Imagine having a 7 gene Exantic boy and girl, and then whatever Exantic you decide to buy that you like, you could use that boy to produce the Exantic look. Powerful. You won't have to worry about the lack of compatibility because he carries all 7, and we can breed with any Exantic. You heard this here first, folks. So
incredible.
it's just my accountancy brain working overtime. I'm a little bit on the spectrum where I start to dig and delve and think, what if? That's one of my ideas. But the one I really am looking forward to, and then literally, it's interesting because Rich is here for another day, and we've got clutch number 12 that's about to pip in the next 5 to 6 days. If they pip tomorrow, we could actually find out whether we are hitting a super pastel Exantic clown from this clutch.
Can you imagine that? And I was working the super pastel Exantics with Calico, but to have clown in there, wow, that's incredible.
So last year, so what I did is about 5 years ago, I bought, because the cost of the genetics 5 years ago were through the roof. During COVID, people were paying top dollar. Now the market's become real and affordable for families to get in and actually get these genetics. So I paid for this pair, a super pastel double het Exantic clown boy, went for £700 5 years ago. And the girl I've got, which is a pastel double Exantic clown, went for about 600 or 700. So I paid like 1,500 quid for the project for 2 double hets with pastel in. Now, what you can get is you can buy a super pastel Exantic clown visual for like 1,200 quid.
Never a better time to get in, right?
Yeah.
And then watch the market go.
But like what Rob was saying to me, Professor Balls, the fun part is actually making it. Everyone can go out if they've got the money to buy the genetics, but when you actually play the odds, it's fun.
Oh yeah,
You're coming in at a low budget, really. A lot of us families are struggling to put food on the table. We've got a bit of money, but we can't blow that money. We've got to be careful, box right, and it's fun. So I've been growing up these 2 double Exantics, and she slugged out in the first year. I had 8 perfect slugs, thinking, oh no. Second year she gave me 2, but those 2 we were lucky, and I'll bring those out and show you what they're like. Is that okay if I bring those out?
Yeah,
Rich?
grab them. Okay, so Paul's now got the 2 snakes out that he wants to show us that came from that clutch. So what do we have here?
So we were so blessed. We had 2 eggs, and the chances of hitting these 2, we'd need 8 eggs to achieve this. And we had 2, and we got what we wanted.
So just 2 eggs, and you hit
an Exantic, which I think could be het for clown. We can shed test for clown, and they're both girls. Which means we can put the dad back to both of them, and we could end up hitting a much better chance of hitting the Exantic pastel and Exantic clown. But they're both pastel, and he's a super pastel, guaranteed pastel, but a good chance of super pastel.
And look at this beautiful girl right here. I don't know, is she going into shed? Yeah.
They both follow each other's cycles. They both go into shed. They
You can
both
see
feed aggressively.
the cloudy, bluey eyes there. So we're not seeing her at her best, but you can see she's a fantastic example of pastel clown. Yeah, look at the pastel.
Jared thinks that these blacks, extra blacks on there, even though I know the pastel clowns do have blacks, that he thinks that he can see Exantic all over it with his natural eye. But we'll prove out, we'll do a shed test to find out for sure. We know this one is an Exantic, and it's a pastel Exantic. Out of shed, it's stunning, because you get all the silvers and greys.
Let's just have a little bit of a in-depth look, and it's always typical when you want to show these beautiful animals off that they're in shed, but you can still see how beautiful this animal is, even with the cloudy eyes and the... Can you just imagine when they shed? That's why they're the gift that keep on giving, snakes, because every time they shed, it's like you're getting that snake for the first time or seeing it for the first time again. Yeah. All the colours pop, all the patterns.
If you look at the alien heads here, you can see how they're dripping like the clown, like a teardrop.
Yeah.
So this one could be het for clown. You see that? See the drips?
Yeah. And I see that a lot with leopards that are het for clown. I see that a hell of a lot. So I completely understand what you're talking about, that being a marker now.
What I like to do is now I can see they're going into shed. I like to just pour a bit of water over.
Let's get it nice and humid in there.
Top up their water bowls, and then. But I've also got on the Exantic side, we've got the Exantic pieds. I haven't really told you about what we're doing with those.
Look, she's doing an impression of a turtle now. Look, with her shed. There's your big shell on your back.
And we do the same with the skill here. We'll give her a little bit of extra humidity and top up her water. So we've got the two projects will come together. The Exantic pieds and the Exantic clowns are coming into the triple heads. So if I put these back, Rich, you can pull out Thor if you like, right behind you. Thor is
Thor, the mighty Thor. Okay, looking at this boy here. So this is a VPI lightning pied. So look at the Exantic in this one. And look, just a little bit of white coming up here. Otherwise, we've got what pied does to the pattern. And you can see the display of Exantic in this boy here. He's a little bit head shy, like any typical ball python.
And that's his wife. Got two.
Wow.
We want to produce some VPI lightning pieds. This project's quite an old project, and the reality is this girl's taken a long time to get to this size. So they came from Europe, but unfortunately she's been a fussy eater, and we've had to put her back into smaller tubs to get her back on food, because I gave her a big tub and she went off food. So that's why she's 4 years of age, but she should be by now ready to breed, but we'll just take our time on her.
See how that technique never stops working. We talk about how ball pythons thrive in this type of setup, that you move them into a bigger tub and they stop feeding, they go back into a smaller tub and they start feeding again. It tells you a lot about what this animal needs. They're not all the same, some are more confident than others, but
yeah,
you really have to listen and do what's right for your snake.
We chose these two because look how much pattern is on both of them. I want to see pattern on my pieds because I want to bring the clown into this. So we're going to bring in the Exantic clown. OD and yellow belly are going to go in as well. So that's a good one. But you need pastel to make it all pop.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
The other thing is we want to put DG in as well. So I've already created the triple head. So this is my technique, is I've used Thor to create the triple heads while we're building. So they take 3 years to build. So while you haven't hit your double visual, if I hit a double visual boy, I can plug that double visual boy into my mature triple heads that are building now. So I've already done the preparation before I even hit the double. You're thinking ahead. It's me being an accountant, it's preparing for the future.
Yeah.
It's just my mentality. I'm thinking way ahead of what I want to achieve. I'm trying to work out what are the building blocks I need And I've got an army of girls. I've got 2 Enchi triple heads that are going to be in this project. And we'll put this girl back if you like. But
Yeah, we'll
these are
put
stunning. Aren't they stunning? Look at the
absolutely
silvers.
stunning.
Look at the head stamps on them. Aren't they just beautiful? I love that black head stamp with the silver on the side. Just look at that. And they're both beautiful examples. I just wish this girl would get into gear, really. But we'll slowly build her. She's about 11, 1200. So she's not a million miles away. But she'll go at her pace. We've just got to respect that. And then,
Want me to pop?
thank you, yeah. That's good. So the triple heads that are in here, these are fire crackers, which you like these. They'll come out 1 feet straight away.
We've seen so many of them this weekend.
So you look at this girl and you think to yourself, oh, it's an Enchi. What a pretty Enchi. But it's the power underneath the Enchi that we're interested in. And I'm not sure if that's a boy or girl, but Jared sexed it, is he? I don't think he's sexed it yet, but that's a female. This one's a female. You can pop it if you like.
See that, guys?
We've got female question mark. What we'll do is as they get bigger, we will sex them again, just to be doubly sure. But we've got 2 of these beautiful Enchis. Now, why have I gone for Enchi into this? What does Enchi do to pied? It gives you big pattern. So if you want pattern on your pies, put Enchi in, and it enriches the oranges as well. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Get Enchi into the project. So this now is a VPI Het DG, Het VPI, but it's a 3-way Het because it's also pied. It's DG, pied, and have I got that right? There should be one other genetic in there.
Yeah, so Het Desert Ghost, Het VPI,
pied,
Exantic,
right?
Het pied.
So effectively, you've got DG going into your lightning pieds.
Lightning pieds, yeah.
Now, Justin Grabowski has shown us what he's done. He's put clown in as well. We're bringing clown into this as well, so we'll end up with 4 quads. Now, his Exantic clown that's got DG in, he's selling for $30,000. That's beautiful. It looks like a stormtrooper. It really does look like a stormtrooper. Imagine putting the 4th gene in there to get the pied in as well. So you've got your clown pie and your DG VPI with your pastel, possibly orange dream in the mix, and possibly yellow belly. Could be amazing. It's going to take a while to get there, but we're building the blocks.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your Exantic. I was blown away when Paul showed me his Exantic project last night, particularly those 2 animals, 4, and the other one's name?
She is Sif.
Sif, both of those animals, I was just like, pfft. And to see where he's taking it next is just incredible. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. See, you've had a couple of interesting T-shirts on while we've been making this video.
Yeah, well, I thought what I'll do is I want to give Rob, Professor Balls, Rob Barraclough, who got me into the hobby with yourself, got me fired up, because for me, he's the technical guy in the industry that we're missing, because when you have technical questions or you have anything of a precise nature you need to really home in on, he's like a walking encyclopedia. I mean, honestly, but he's so kind. He's so kind, because I look at some of the emails he used to send me. He used to give me detailed emails on how to go about certain things or troubleshooting, and I think that's Rob all over, isn't it?
You won't get a short answer from Rob Barraclough. You'll get a very detailed explanation. It's the only explanation you'll ever need. So
absolutely, but it's so brilliant to have someone like that as an expert. This one wants to.
I'm sorry, I'm being distracted now by this one targeting me. Have a quick look at this animal, and this is more of that feeding response that I was talking about here at New Forest Morphs, which is just incredible. Look, see how this ball python is tracking the heat of my hand. Look,
oh,
there, do you see?
You can see we've got no problems feeding these hatchlings.
Which is incredible, right? Incredible. And I'm sorry I am not your dinner. I'm sorry. I'm sure Paul's going to feed you very, very soon.
Do you know what? I only ate 2 days ago.
He's already hungry, which is incredible.
Oh, yeah. I think they are really up for it, these snakes. But
so once again, guys, big thank you to Paul at New Forest Morphs. I'll pop the links down in the description to their YouTube channel, to their Instagram, to the Facebook, to their Morph Market page. All right, go check them out, follow, watch out for the offspring that they're going to have available, because you can't go wrong with the genes and the quality that they have within their collection and what they're producing. So again, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Richard. I really appreciate it.
And guys, take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next video.